Hello everyone, this is AmberAnkNA here. Welcome to my channel. Well, I play a variety of games and do narrations for fanfics. I'm really hoping you enjoy my content. If you do, make sure to comment below, leave a like, and subscribe with the notifications on. Right, until next time, this is AmberAnkNA. Welcome to my channel. So, hi! Hello everyone, and welcome to basically the return of a story that I said will be returning whenever new chapter out, and here's a new chapter of that story. What story am I talking about? The Voodoo Man, Chapter 5, Intrusive Thoughts. We thought checking for monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside us. Charles Darwin. Master's unconsciousness trickled into her body. A struck force and non-coherent form into trainability and understanding. Having lost Victoria went out of the room, demanding a nurse's attention. She realized she only had a couple of moments alone before others returned. Soon, by her estimation, there would be a commotion and more people around her than she would prefer. Okay, Mass, this is fate. The Voodoo Man sent you here. Let's go with the flow and see where this reality takes you. Corey is still out there. That's what matters. She's our #1 priority. Always. Mass took an extended breath and stretched out her limbs in front of her body. The thought in the bit of her arm where a needle was resting inside her vein burned like fire. Well, it sure as hell feels real. Ouch! Automatically, she removed the tape holding the needle in place and dragged it out with a grimace. Both twinkled from the opening more quickly than she anticipated. Mass hectically reached towards the table near her bed, knocking several items to the ground. Finally, she located a pad of glaze. Her hand trembled from a lack of strength, but she steadied it as well as she could from her position. Mass placed a soft mouse on the tiny hole in her arm and reattached the dangling tape, putting pressure on the wound. She noticed her arm was bruised a few inches in each direction from the hole. Mobility was returning to her body. That much was clear. She didn't know how long she had been in the hospital, nor the reason for her stay, but it was obvious it was ordered in a day or two. She planned on asking Victoria about her predicament when the girl returned. However, the first thing she needed to do was get more comfortable. She was in a bit of pain in her position. Mass pulled at and removed other cables and cords that were still attached to her. One must have been the electric vials reader, as the constant flatline beep erupted through the small room. The alarming volume of the machine caused Mass to place her hands over her ears and push herself to a sitting position. Now hopeful for the medical staff to listen and turn it off, other instruments also begun to buzz and chime in a hellish symphony of noise. A moment later, she was surrounded by a team of individuals wearing stripes and doctor coats, holding clipboards and miscellaneous medical items. The machines were eerily silent, but the commotion was exceptional. Everyone insisted Mass laid back down and not try to move around too much. And at first, she fought back, triggering the struggle. Then, after she noticed one nurse opposing her holding a freshly filled syringe, she quickly complied in hopes he would not be put under. The nurse read the situation and retreated back outside with the syringe still in her glove hand. Shit, that was a close call. Just go easy, Mass. Everything will even out soon. As the urgency of the situation relaxed, Mass was asked many questions about how she was feeling. She responded with nods for yes, and shaking her head back and forth for no. They tested her muscle strength and ability to control different parts of her body. After she passed her test, many of the nurses and other staff departed from the room, leaving her with exactly one doctor and one nurse by her side. I'm hungry, Mass softly spoke at a level that the pill would certainly heal. She knew she would need to exhibit a specific amount of nervousness for the medical staff to consider letting her leave. She truly didn't want to be there any longer. You know what would be good? Mass gazed at the doctor with the pepper gray on top of his head and his short build. He seemed to be the one who could easily sign off on her release. Cheesecake and coffee. The doctor laughed. Sounds like your appetite is coming back. No cheesecake yet, but we can whip you up something shortly. You will be on more of a liquid diet for a day or so. You took out your IV, so you will need nourishment soon. How long until I can leave? Mass asked, attempting to sound polite and gracious. Though she worried she would actually seem weak and tired. I'd like to go home, if that's alright. That all depends on you. What we want to see from you prior to... The doctor was abruptly cut off. Mass! Holy shit! The tall blonde strolled into the room, weirdly stepping between the doctor and his patient, permitting her lips as she pushed in. She bent down and aligned her eyes with Mass's. A cowardly place with the look of concern that was there just a moment prior. You scared the living shit out of me, asshole! Don't you run away from me ever again! Also, why the hell were you meeting that girl? What the fuck happened? Excuse me, madam, the doctor spoke. There will be plenty of time for conversation later. The patient needs to rest. Your chaotic energy would not help her heal. He seemed annoyed. Fine. Victoria spoke to Trisha aloud. She bumped past the man and stopped in the doorway. Your mother went out for once. I called her while I was in the waiting room, and she's on her way back. She didn't even look behind her, just spoke and disappeared outside around the corner. What does Victoria mean to me here? If she's calling my mom, we must be pretty close. Yikes. This is getting weird. Mass noticed the nurse roll eyes after Victoria left. It seemed to indicate the two had previously had unpleasant words with one another. From what she knew about the blonde, she was overly retroactive and polite, which many people found to be annoying, herself included. Miss Caulfield, the doctor continued, I realize you just came out of a coma, but we need you to rest. We'll bring you food and water soon. Oh, and I sent someone to remove that cough. We need to see that you can use the restroom on your own. Do you understand? Matt slowly lifted the blanket that was still draped across her body. She peeked down and noticed the line coming from her between her legs, and leaned to a hanging bag on the side of the bed. Shit. Mass nodded. Well, if you need anything, push the nurse call button. I checked on the other places since you're doing good now. Glad to see you awake, Miss Caulfield. The two individuals left the room and shut the door nearly all the way, leaving a small crack. Suddenly, like bubbles crossing the path on the Pacific Northwest breeze, new memories began pushing old memories away from her thoughts. Max recalled awakening as she and Victoria were sitting on the grass outside of Blackwell after hiding William's keys following a photos up to the past. She had hope in doing so, William would be alive so Chloe would not have to experience the trauma of losing her father. She remembered seeing Victoria's friends sitting around them as well. Max recalled desperately seeking Chloe in a sudden panic. She looked across the green space outside of her skull and noticed Warren and Sarah being romantic together. Although, she would have thought Warren and Bert would have gotten together. Somehow, in this timeline, the two had hooked up. What the fuck? Not this timeline, please. Oh, dog! Max remembered taking the bus, which was being driven by David Madsen, to Chloe's house. On the way, she noticed dead birds and beast whales. Exactly the same as in her original timeline. In her mind, the bus couldn't travel fast enough to get back to Chloe. After finally making her way to the Price's residence, she was greeted by William at the front door, followed by her best friend. The shock of the memory was no less painful than when she actually experienced it firsthand. Chloe had become paralyzed from the neck down, and she was in a wheelchair. Fuck! A couple of minutes passed, and Max re-experienced the entire of the alternate timeline she encountered during the wake of the storm. From her new perspective, she could see herself followed off from that reality and reconsume her body in that same timeline. When she looked over and Chloe was dead in her bed, Max suddenly couldn't breathe and passed out. Her mind reconnected as she was awakening in the hospital and seeing Victoria standing above her. Everything made sense now, though she didn't know why the Voodoo Man would send her to this place. It was one of the most depressing moments of her life, though it was nice to reconnect with Chloe. Even if she was wheelchair bound, the entire day they spent together filled her heart with guilt and regret. Max, you're such a shitty person. Maybe you don't deserve Chloe. No, don't think like that. It's not about you. Deserve her or not, she deserves to live. Remember that. A gentle tap at the door startled the patient. Max jumped. Hey, it's me, Victoria whispered. I didn't mean to alarm you. The girl seemed to be in a very tight space this time. The bond tiptoed into the side of the room and gently saw at the door behind her. It closed so softly, Max didn't even hear the muzzle sway from the glass. What are you doing here, Victoria? What's happening? Max knew a little bit about the current timeline from her previous trip, but there were plenty of holes she hoped the tall girl could fill in. Victoria strolled up and craned over Max's bed, coughing as usual. Max flinched a bit as her visitor leaned down and lovingly kissed the brunette on the cheek before lifting herself to a stand. She prohibited her body and plopped down in the chair nearest Max. If I had to might say, these stupid fucking hospital first sitting would be on higher quality. She huffed. What is this upholstery bullshit? Is it so uncomfortable? Yikes! Times 10! Victoria, are we friends? From her memory, Max knew the probable answer to her question. Like, are we really close? Really close? Duh, Max. Maxine, I mean, Max. Shit, I keep forgetting. I have to call you Maxine since we... I have called you Maxine since we first met. For some unknown reason, you decided to run off after telling me to never call you that again. Next thing I knew, Nathan said he heard something bad had happened to you. Both the fucking police and the emergency responders were involved somehow. Something about you and the death of a random horrid girl. She's not a rando, Victoria. She's my best friend. Yeah, I know. I met your mom at the hospital that day and we talked. You and, Carly grew up together, right? But, Matt spoke in. You mean Chloe? Chloe fucking Price? God damn it! Jeez, I'm sorry. You never mentioned anything about her before. What made you want to visit her so suddenly? Victoria's eyes were tender, her head was cocked to the side, and it was as if the girl was looking through a mask and directly into her heart. It wasn't often that she experienced Victoria's genuine concern for her. Huh? Mask felt her own features softening. The anger and confusion in her mind momentarily dispersed as she realized her former nemesis was filled with care for her. Only one other person had made her feel special in that kind of way. Mask couldn't find the words. Her heart jumped from her chest, skipping a beat before resuming a routine wait. Don't worry, Mask. The doctor told me you would be a little woozy. I've been here for you for the past 2 weeks. That won't stop now. You can thank me later, Bess. Mask saw the girl's arm stretched out. Her hand tenderly stripped the straight strands of hair from her eyes. The touch on her skin sent a perceptible shiver through Mask's body that burst her her and made her feel at ease. Mask repeated, quiet now. Victoria slid her own hand down from the princess' ear and laid a pointer against her lips. Rest now. Your mom should be here soon. Oh, by the way, she moved her hand and said, your dad is still in Seattle. He couldn't leave because of his dumbass job. Victoria drove here as soon as he could. We really bonded. Me and your mom. You would be proud. Look at me being all nice and shit. You always tell me I should be nicer to everyone. So we spun around and exited the room. What the hell was that? And waited to see emotion wash through Master's entire body. She felt guilty that somehow she and Victoria were more than friends in this reality. It hurts her heart to think she could even allow herself to get to that point, knowing she was forever in love with Chloe. On the other hand, from the moment her former nemesis left the room, all she wanted was to be around her again. It felt confusing and complicated. As she did in Seattle for nearly 5 years, in her first few months back in Acadia Bay, when emotions felt too complex to decipher, Max went into shutdown mode. She couldn't process her thoughts. She didn't eat readily, and all she wanted to do was sleep. It was probably a way for her mind to block those stressful emotions out and protect her from herself. Max turned to her side and closed her eyes. She abruptly transported to a dark, silent place. Looking around, Max didn't recognize where she stood, but it felt like somewhere in the forest leading up to the Voodoo man's house. She noticed she was wearing the same leather jacket she wore during her trip, but her motorcycle was nowhere to be found. I know this is a dream, Voodoo Man. Matt spoke towards the black. I'm not scared. To be honest, I'm nothing at all now. And just shut up. You're not silly me anymore. The last part felt like an intrusive thought, almost as if it was coming from another version of herself that didn't exist yet, which was an odd sensation. Matt stirred up up the feeling and stay in the gym area again. Suddenly she heard a baby's cry nearby. She quickly ran up to a tall tree and crossed down. She quickly waved her arms around in the fog near the trunk's base. The wind she produced with her hand blades were cutting through the thick mist, but only just barely. She reached her arms down into the hole where the cries were coming from and crushed the item below. When she pulled the naked baby out, the girl's cry only grew more intense. Out of her instinct, Max took off her jacket, flipped it inside out, and utilized it like a blanket for a cuddle saddle, wrapping the child snugly. She placed the struggle against her shoulder and started swinging back and forth, like a good mother would. Shh, shh, shh. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine now. How did you get out here all alone? In that moment, nothing else mattered, just the child and her safety. The little girl stopped crying and Max pulled her away from herself to get a better look at her face. She had blonde hair, freckles, and blue hair that reminded her of Chloe. Something about the look in the girl's eyes gave her that same intrusive feeling that she had experienced the same moment at some point previously. And maybe she haven't yet experienced it somehow. Suddenly, the girl's eyes turned from deep sea blue to emerald green. Max struggled backwards, still holding the girl as she fell. Like surfacing from a pool, Max was transported back to the hospital room, gasping for air. A handful of blankets had replaced the little girl, still gripped tightly in Max's arms. Her eyes darted around, trying to get a handle on her reality. It's okay, Miss Caulfield. Night terrors, as we call them, are normal. It's not quite night yet, but you get the idea. Just breathe. Max took a giant breath as directed, then noticed the same doctor check on her before was standing in the room near her bed. I'm sorry I had to wake you, but your dinner is here. We need you to eat this broth and jello. Then, ultimately, use the restroom on your own. Know what I mean? We have to ensure everything is working properly. The man moved to the side to clear a path for a woman Max hadn't noticed until that moment. She was holding a tray with various food items on top. The nurse spread it around on a small shivering table and set it in front of Max, turning it as close to her body as possible. The man reached to the side of her bed and pressed a button that made it move upward, starting Max into a sitting position. She finally released her crushed blankets and took a relieving sip of water. I'll go get your mom and your friend. The doctor turned and exited the room. Despite the bizarre dreams she just encountered, as well as the complex feelings she experienced earlier, Max was feeling especially hungry. Without the IV in her arm feeding her body the nutrition it needed, she felt famished. Remember the nurse button if you need me. The nice lady smiled and remember the nurse button if you need me. The nice lady smiled and left the room as well. Max removed the plastic lid, picked up her spoon, and shoved several swirls of jello out of the container and directly into her mouth. The patient barely chewed as she scoffed down her food. It didn't take long for Max to finish her entire meal. As she was turning the block bowl up to her mouth to consume the final drops, her mother walked in. Oh, Maxine! Victoria ran up to her daughter and hugged her as best as she could. You really are awake! Hi everyone. This is Emma 2000 again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Because, you know, I really did enjoy making it. But, so I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe with the notifications on down below. Till next time, bye!